So hi there, you're joined by Emma again at Bipolar Scotland, and today we're joined by Pavan, who is one of our community psychiatrists, and he also helps us at Bipolar Scotland around some policy and development of some ideas. So Pavan, can I just get you to introduce yourself as well?
Certainly. I'm Pavan Srireddy. I'm a consultant psychiatrist and I work in South Glasgow. And I also have a bit of a management role looking at developing services and setting up new ways of working and improving what we do constantly. And we've been working together with Bipolar Scotland now for a good few years to look at how we improve the services we provide for people with bipolar disorder and how we can improve the experience people have of mental health services, predominantly in the community, and maybe do things slightly differently from the way we've traditionally done things.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. And I think at the minute it's a very, very challenging time for everybody in the community. But I wanted to ask you, as a professional within psychiatry, how are psychiatrists responding in the community to the current crisis?
I think it's been quite difficult because a lot of what we do involves contact, involves face-to-face contact, involves spending time with people, either visiting people in the community or people coming and seeing us in a team basis. And actually the lockdown's been hugely challenging for people who have mental health difficulties of any sort. I think having to deal with the stress and the distress associated with everything that's going on top of everything else they might have been dealing with previously, that's hugely, hugely difficult. And then to have the supports they would normally have had, both from services, but from wider community pull back, I think that's hugely challenging. We've had to go through sort of a couple of different processes in terms of how we continue to deliver some level of services. To start with, because of the effects of the lockdown, because of a lot of staff gaps and vacancies due to staff being off sick with COVID-19 or being in isolation, we had to pull back to providing urgent and emergency services. That predominantly meant in the community being able to see people who are in crisis, seeing new referrals for individuals who might be struggling, who are very, very distressed and who need a response very, very quickly. And having to put a hold on some of the routine work we would normally undertake. We've moved on from that phase and we're now starting to think more carefully about how we continue to provide ongoing care and treatment and support for people who are already known to our services, but also people who need help with the mental health problems who are out there in the community. And we're increasingly looking at using technology, either using virtual consultations, but also sort of traditional things like telephone calls. Mm-hmm. And also wanting to highlight that it's not that we won't see anyone face-to-face at all. That's not the case. If you need to be seen and you need help, those services are still open. So we're still visiting people at home when they need home visits and we need input. We still see people face-to-face. All the hospitals are open. All the resource centers and the community mental health teams are open. Yeah. The services are still open. I think it's important to keep in mind that all those sources of support still remain in place, but we're doing things maybe slightly differently from what we might have traditionally done.
Yeah, and that was kind of what I was going to ask you as well around, we know at the briefings it's been said recently that people are maybe not reaching out for other physical illnesses or mental health conditions because they're a bit scared, that they don't want to put pressure on the NHS, they don't want to overwhelm, and also they don't necessarily know what's happening. So I think what we want to say today and what you've been very clear about is if you are in a position where you need help from your community mental health team, please get in contact with them. This isn't the time to just completely take yourself away. If you're having problems with your medication, if you need to see your psychiatrist, if you need to speak to them, please, we urge you to do so. And that's very much what you're saying. You know, the services are still there. We're just having to think about different ways to provide such services and moving forward. So the other thing I wanted to just ask you about, something that both of us have been involved with, you a lot longer than myself, has been the Bipolar Hub. For those that don't know about the Bipolar Hub, shall I let you just do a very brief overview about what it was about? Just a very, very brief one.
Okay, I'll try and be brief
Okay.
about it. And it's hard because we've been working on it now for coming up 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's thinking of a different way of providing support, care, treatment, input from mental health services, and moving away from the traditional model. And the traditional model is you come and see a CPN or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, you have routine appointments, they're spaced apart, no matter what your need is. And there's a limited level of flexibility and responsiveness to services. And I guess we were keen to look at trying a different model, which is far more flexible and allows individuals to dip in and out of services based on their judgment of how much they need at any given time, but also having a range of resources readily available when someone feels a need or feels that they're in the right place to use those resources. The proposal, what we're working towards, we're very, very close to starting at a test in the south of Glasgow, was to have a hub, essentially, which would act as a drop-in service. It was going to be jointly run by the NHS and Bipolar Scotland. And that's something quite new for us.
Yeah.
And that's something that's quite exciting, in being able to work in partnership with Bipolar Scotland to provide something that's very, very new. And certainly from our experience, this model of working and having this flexible model is something which is very new and something that we've not come across previously.
Yeah, so it was very exciting times. We were due to launch it, and then obviously we went into lockdown. So it's something that we are keen to progress forward. So those that have heard about it, it's not forgotten about. We're very much wanting to continue delivering this, and hopefully next week the hub, the staff that we're going to be doing at the hub, will be able to meet together virtually and see how we can progress it at this time. So I would say to anybody out there that may be technologically minded or who may have ideas around how we take this forward under the current circumstances, please get in contact with us at Bipolar Scotland. We're really keen to kind of get you involved in that process. So thank you very much, Pavan, for joining me today. I think what I want to just say to people out there just now that may be struggling is remember that we are here. We care, we want to be here for you, and we urge, if this is something that you're struggling with at the moment, to get in contact with us, to either get in contact with your community mental health team or to get in contact with one of the emergency agencies out there like Samaritans, or in fact you can contact Bipolar Scotland on Facebook or by email, and we will respond, we will get in contact. So you're not alone, we are here to help. So thank you, Pavan, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Emma.